Isaiah 58, verse 8 to 10 reads, "For my plans are not your plans, my ways are not your ways." This is something that I've really had to learn the hard way. What's up, guys? It's your boy Tapiwa Zimamba, also known as the Fitness Doctor, for all those that don't know me. And welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk all things to do with growth and becoming the best version of yourself. This is where we help each other grow in all aspects of your life, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. In all aspects, we're here to help each other grow. So this has been something very difficult for me to understand, because in most of the times, God's plan is not my plan, or my plan is not God's plan. And it's so frustrating. Why? Because you would have put so much effort, but then you realize, why is it like I'm dragging God along? Like, why is it like I'm dragging him into this thing? And you'll be so passionate about something, and if God is saying no or not yet, as long as you push with that thing, you will notice that you will struggle so much to get to this goal. And it's a tricky balance, because you're questioning, is it the enemy attacking me from my dream, or is it God just saying no? I want you guys to also let me know in the comment section, like, how do you differentiate these two? Because our plans are usually not God's plan. Because you see, our plans usually are filled with a lot of greed, are usually filled with a lot of envy, are usually filled with a lot of boasting of our ego, are usually filled with a lot of selfish desires. But most of the time, this is not God's will. So if you notice something in your life, you keep on struggling to do it, you keep on struggling to get somewhere, maybe it might just not be God's will. So I want you to slow down and think, is this what God really wants for me? Or I'm just forcing things? Most of the time, if you notice that you have to pull strings to get A to meet B, you have to pull strings for this to happen, and after pulling all those strings, you feel so drained at the end. Sometimes it's not God's will. Isaiah 58 says, "For my plans are not your plans." So what is the safest thing to do to avoid frustration? The safest thing to do is to involve God in everything. Involve God from get-go. Bro, like, involve God from your relationships. Involve God from your marriage. Involve God from your finances. Involve God in the way you look. Involve God in how you're going to walk. Involve God in everything. This is why I always urge people that the first thing that you should do is have communion with God first thing in the morning. Why? Because you're already involving him from get-go. Because it gets so frustrating pursuing something or going down a road that God didn't say you should walk. And to avoid yourself the disappointment, to avoid the emotional frustration, to avoid all this toiling and nothing working, I suggest start involving God. Start involving God in everything that you're doing. Start involving God in everything that you're going to pursue, so that you already know quickly that, is this his will or it's not his will? So this is one thing I'm having to learn the hard way. It's so difficult to even explain, because it's so frustrating, guys. And if I were you, and just to avoid the frustration, I would suggest involve God in everything. Involve God in those things that you feel are not important. Involve God in the menial things that you think are very small, and God is not concerned about my relationships. God is not concerned about who's in my DM. God is not concerned about who's talking to me. God is not concerned about who's hitting on me. God is not concerned about what I wear. God is interested in knowing all of those things. And I suggest you start involving him now. better now than later. Why? Because sometimes when you start involving him later, you can find out that something that you've been working on for years has not been God's will. So from your career, involve God now. So that if it's a career change that you need to make, you need to know it early, because it's going to be frustrating when you have to totally shift direction and probably you're now 40 or 50 or 60. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with shifting your direction at this time, but I'm just saying, I suggest you start involving him now. Involve God now and involve God soon. It avoids a lot of disappointment. Because maybe with some of the things that you're doing now, you're dragging God along. Don't drag God along. Move with him. May he go in front of you so that he can walk the path for you, so that he can see if there's any trap there, if there's any pit there, if there's any problem there, so that he will enlighten you that, hey, there's a pit here, jump. There's a trap there, move away. There's a lion there, hide. Because he will know the journey before you do. He will know the road before you do. And most of the time when I start my day, I always say, God, go ahead of me. Then all I can do is follow. I allow myself to be a sheep today. Because sheep are shepherded. Shepherded. Sheep are shepherded. Where the shepherd goes ahead of them and they follow. But the problem is, if you want to follow the goat perspective of the world, that the greatest of all time, there's nothing wrong with being a greatest of all time, but if you want to follow the goat approach where you lead and the shepherd follows, it's a dangerous one, because most of the time you can lead yourself into a problem. Most of the time you can lead yourself into an animal. Most of the time you can lead yourself into danger. But my question to you today is, are you going to allow God to lead? Or are you going to lead for yourself? Most of the time you lead for yourself, you face so much frustration, because as long as the plan is not according to God's plan, nothing moves, guys. So do it earlier. Do it now. Do it today. Have a great day. And always remember, another day, another opportunity to level up.